Okay, I repeat it. The ternary system, diapside, albite, and anorthite. So every point in the diagram representing the crystallization of this system. And the figure indicates a definite composition and a definite temperature. And the triangle is divided by a curved line into two fields, and each of which is a crossed by the temperature contour, or you can say isotherms. So I will show you a diagram where you can see the diapside first crystallized from a magma of the composition and temperature represented by the points in the upper field, and the plagioclase from the magma indicated by the points in the lower field. So let us follow the crystallization of a magma of composition F consisting of 50% diapside and 25% albite and 25% anorthite. And the point F representing this composition will stand halfway down the perpendicular from the diapside corner, which bisect. So F also represents a temperature of about 1275 degrees centigrade, and that is the beginning of the crystallization. Now, by the withdrawal of the diapside, the liquid is enriched in the albite and anorthite, and the indicators F, this is F, will therefore move down perpendicular until it reaches the boundary of the plagioclase field at G. This is point G. So at this point, temperature is 1235 degrees centigrade. Now the composition of the magma is 17% diapside crystals and 83% liquid. That is, you can see in the table, here are the points: temperature, amount of diapside, amount of plagioclase, amount of liquid, and composition of plagioclase. Now the plagioclase separate at this point have the approximate the composition albite 1 and anorthite 1, 50-50%. Here you can see represented by the point H. This is point H. So the withdrawal of the both diapside and anorthite plagioclase from the liquid causes a change of composition. So that is indicated by the movement of indicator point along the boundary curves to P, K, M successively, and the liquid becoming enriched in the albite component. And if the cooling is slow enough to permit continuous and thorough adjustment of equilibrium, at P, plagioclase of composition R separates out, and all the earlier plagioclase will have been changed over this composition. So similarly, at point K, they are nearly formed, and the earlier plagioclase crystals have the composition represented by the L. The last drop of the liquid is used up at this point, that is point M, and the plagioclase simultaneously arrives at the composition albite 1 and anorthite 1, that is 50-50%. So as the diapside is a mineral of the invariable composition in the relation to the rest of magma, so its composition remains unchanged. Now come next point, that is the remaining liquid that is also changed in the composition, and the final drop is very much enriched in albite component. It is shown by the position of point M in this diagram. So hence, slow cooling and continuous adjustment of equilibrium between crystals and liquid result in the separation of crystals diapside and plagioclases in the proportion and of the composition. So with very rapid cooling, the same final product is obtained, and the liquid greatly undercooled and crystallization when it takes place occur rapidly in the labile stage, that is giving 50% diapside and 50% plagioclase of the composition AB1 AN1. Now with the same magma, an intermediate rate of cooling gives quite different results. How? So the earlier crystals are again AB1, AN1, but as the liquid change in the composition with the enriched in albite, the next crop of plagioclase simply coat the earlier crystals with a zone of appropriate composition at each stage. And hence again there is a produce the well-known zonal structure. So I have already told you the zonal structure. The composition of the remaining liquid is thereby rendered more extreme, since more of the anorthite molecule is permanently withdrawn from it, and the result is just as if the plagioclase crystal formed at each stage were removed from the liquid, and the latter begins to crystallize anew. So this liquid composition K, if crystallized with reference to the previously formed plagioclases, would become completely crystallized at 1178 degrees centigrade instead of 1200 degrees centigrade. And the final liquid would have the composition of what? S. This is final liquid. That is, it would be much richer in albite. Hence, the zoning causes a considerable widening of the range of composition, both the plagioclase crystals and the liquid. And finally, the original magma is composition of N, that is the diopside 30%, albite 35%, and anorthite 35%. That is crystallization began at about 1302 degrees centigrade. And as the point N is the plagioclase speed. This is plagioclase speed. So plagioclase of composition nearby the AB1, AN1 that separates out, and the liquid is enriched in diopside and albite, and the indicators move along the curve NP. This is NP curve. So you can say at point P, diopside begins to crystallize and the feldspar has the composition R. With further cooling, crystallization proceed as in above case, and the last drop of liquid is used up at this temperature 1200 degrees centigrade temperature, and the feldspar is made over entirely to the albite 1 anorthite 1, albite anorthite, and the crystallized mass now consists of what? 70% plagioclase, 70% plagioclase and 30% diopside. And in the mixed crystal series, there is no eutectic. Throughout the crystallization, there is changes only temperature and composition. So in this system, that is in diopside, albite, anorthite system, there is no eutectic point. So all the components, all the procedure, that is change in temperature and composition. So this is all about the diopside, albite, anorthite ternary system. you have any query, you can ask me. Any question?